Jacobs Field here in Cleveland, Ohio, and welcome to Game 4 of the 2007 American League Championship Series on Fox. Indians up 2-1. And now welcome to our broadcast booth, everybody. I am Joe Buck. That is Tim McCarver. And Tim, while we always talk about pitching in the postseason, it's time to really talk about the Red Sox lineup and what guys aren't doing around the core of the lineup for Terry Francona.
Well, predictably, the 3, 4, and 5 slots have done the heavy lifting for the Red Sox. But look at the numbers for the rest of the lineup. I think the key guy for the Red Sox, Dustin Pedroia, he has not produced, you hate to put it on one guy, but he has not produced like he can produce thus far, on base only 3 times in 3 games.
Yeah, Eric Karros touched on that during our pregame. Meanwhile, you look at the other side, and for Eric Wedge, it may not happen every night, but you're always looking for balance in your lineup, and somebody has stepped up for the Indians night after night.
Examples of that, Johnny Peralta out of the 6th hole in Game 2 with the 3-run home run, and Kenny Lofton getting the scoring started last night, batting 7th with the 2-run home run for the Indians.
Tim Wakefield has had some inflammation behind his pitching shoulder. He has not worked in a game for the Red Sox since the 29th of September. It has been a 16-day layoff. You go back 4 years, this is the anniversary of that Aaron Boone home run in Game 7, 2003 ALCS. Yankees went on to the World Series. Josh Beckett and the Marlins won that series. And now it's Tim Wakefield. His biggest start, the Red Sox biggest start of their season. It's Game 4. Yours. Next on Fox. The ALCS on Fox, sponsored by Sprint, by Fidelity Investments, Smart Move, by Bridgestone, passion for excellence, and by The Comebacks, the greatest sports spoof ever. Friday only in theaters. Hopefully the rain will stay away all night, and we will give you the Red Sox starting lineup, brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods and voiced and videoed by Kevin Youkilis.
Hi, I'm Kevin Youkilis of the Boston Red Sox, and here's the Boston Red Sox starting lineup. Leading off, Dustin Pedroia. Hitting second, myself, Kevin Youkilis. Hitting third, the DH, David Ortiz. Hitting cleanup, playing left field, Manny Ramirez. At third base and hitting fifth, Mike Lowell. In right field, J.D. Drew. In center field, hitting seventh, Coco Crisp. Catching and hitting eighth, Doug Mirabelli. And last, shortstop Julio Lugo, batting ninth. And on the mound, Tim Wakefield.
He is even intimidating when he reads the lineup. Time for the Budweiser opening pitch. Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment, open up a world of taste. Who's on the mound? The guy who got the call in Game 4 of the Division Series at Yankee Stadium. He got the win in 5+ innings. And that is the crafty right-hander, Paul Byrd.
With the old-fashioned windup, and his guts match his stuff. Lots of hits and lots of base runners, but he somehow seems to find out, for the most part, finds his way through those base runners.
A 15-game winner during the regular season, and that old-fashioned windup, something he developed in spring training of 2002 to make up for a lack of velocity. It's about deception, and for Dustin Pedroia, whatever he sees, he's got to put better swings on pitches, get on base, and make something happen. After the first pitch, Blake down on his knees, up for the out. Good play by Victor Martinez on the other end, Tim, to come off the bag.
Casey Blake to his right, a tougher play, obviously, than to the left. The non-glove side, and a good play by Martinez, as you said, Joe. Pedroia caught in between. He didn't know whether to slide or go in standing up.
So Pedroia is out. He's now 2 for 13 in this ALCS. And here is Kevin Youkilis. And there is strike one. Home plate umpire is Paul Emmel. And a lot like we talked about last night with regard to Daisuke Matsuzaka. If Paul Emmel or any home plate umpire during the course of the season makes Paul Byrd throw it over the white part of the plate all night, he's in trouble. keeping it on the edge there, and he gets a swinging strike. It's 0-2. Youkilis 4 hits, 11 at bats. David Ortiz on deck.
They'll expand the strike zone here.
In the air to center field, easy for Sizemore. 2 up, 2 down. A MasterCard keys to the game prior to the at-bat by David Ortiz.
In our opening, we talked about the 3, 4, and 5 hitters who need help. David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez, the toughest tandem in baseball. And if you're an Indians fan, you're hoping your team, the Cleveland Indians, don't let the Sox breathe tonight. Be relentless. Go for the throat.
Up 2-1 and playing behind Paul Byrd. Eric Wedge was reluctant to bring back Sabathia on short rest in the division series. Paul Byrd rewarded that fate. And he's been out in front of each of the 3 hitters here in the first inning tonight.
No surprise, Paul Byrd has thrown more first pitch strikes than anybody in the major leagues this year.
A tantalizing pitch that misses down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. A lot's been made about the bad right knee of David Ortiz. He got a cortisone injection in there at the end of September. He'll tell you that he sits down, he sits on those legs to hit, and it has affected him. And he's set up here at 1-2.
Sizemore with the Cleveland Indians, and here's tonight's starting lineup. I'll be leading things off in center field. Batting second, the second baseman as Drupal Cabrera. Hitting third, the fantasy football guru, T. Pronk. Hitting fourth at first base, Victor Martinez. Hitting fifth at shortstop, Mr. GQ, Johnny Peralta. Hitting sixth in left field, Kalo. Hitting seventh at third base, the mountain man, Casey Blake. Hitting eighth in right field, Franklin Gutierrez, and hitting ninth behind the plate, Kelly Shopik. And on the mound, we have Paul Byrd.
Thank you very much, Grady. In the starting lineup for the Indians, brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. And here is Tim Wakefield, a 17-game winner, tied his career high this season. He was terrific for Boston, and they need him to be terrific tonight. First pitch of ball to Sizemore. If you don't know it about Tim Wakefield, in his time with the Boston Red Sox, he has put together a resume and a stat sheet that is staggering. He was picked up and signed as a minor league free agent in April of 1995. And ever since then, all he has done is win for Boston. Only Roger Clemens and Cy Young with more wins with the Boston Red Sox than Tim Wakefield. 2-1 pitch. Pretty good pitch, doesn't get the call as Mirabelli boxed it, and the count's 3-1. 16 days off, Tim, and they wonder what they're going to get out of Tim Wakefield.
Beware of the roller. That's when the knuckleball rolls up there. I don't think Sizemore will get a knuckleball here.
That was a blistering 75-mile-per-hour fastball.
That's it, baby. He doesn't throw it hard, but when he's behind in the count, 3-1, 2-0, he'll throw the fastball.
That's ripped down into the corner, but hooked foul. And this is really what Terry Francona will tell you. As manager, his quote was, "I've learned to just sit on my hands and watch him pitch. It can frustrate the heck out of you. He'll walk guys. Guys will steal bases. He'll hit batters. There'll be wild pitches and pass balls, but he wins. It's not always pretty." And a leadoff walk on on a high fastball.
Now you saw those 41 stolen bases. That was 10 more than any other American League pitcher. 10 more. So what Grady Sizemore will do is choose a knuckleball and run. It's interesting that as Drupal Cabrera hitting right-handed, he's a switch hitter, hitting right-handed against a knuckleballer.
And he takes a strike. Talking to Eric Wedge before the game, the manager of the Indians, he said, you know, a lot of our young guys haven't seen a knuckleball pitcher and certainly haven't seen somebody as good with it as Tim Wakefield. So a lot of these young players are getting their first look and trying to figure it out. And Cabrera is one of those young guys. He's in the hole 0-2.
Some switch hitters think hitting right-handed against a right-handed knuckleballer, you have much more control with the bat. I guess that is Cabrera's thinking right here.
Knuckleballers, as you said, Tim, they're easy to run against. The one thing that Wakefield does do is cut down. He has virtually no leg kick going to the plate. And when he is good, Terry Francona will tell you, that's where he doesn't bring the ball back. And he's got a very short delivery and almost short arms the ball to the plate with the knuckleball.
Almost pushes it as opposed to throws it or throwing it.
And he fools Cabrera for out number 1. A walk, a strikeout, 1 on, 1 out. Travis Hafner is coming up. The ALCS on Fox is sponsored by WebMD. Better information, better health. By DirecTV, get over 70 of the best channels in HD. By Dick's Sporting Goods, every season starts at Dick's. And by MasterCard, there's some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Here comes Travis Hafner.
It is interesting to note that with most pitchers, you try to run when the pitcher is behind in the count because he has to throw a strike. He can't throw a pitch out. With a knuckleballer, you try to run when the knuckleballer is ahead in the count because that's when the hitter can expect the knuckleball.
There goes Sizemore. Throw down by Mirabelli is too late. And so the Indians, who have scored first in 3 straight games, have Sizemore in scoring position, 1 out.
So what Sizemore did, he waited at first base since the right-hander since Cabrera elected to hit right-handed, he waited for the left-handed hitting Hafner to come up and ran on the first pitch. It's much tougher for a catcher not only to throw a knuckleball, but to throw with the left-handed batter up there. So a smart play by a smart player.
That was Mike Lowell, the third baseman, at second to take the throw with the shift. Now because Sizemore is at second, Lowell has to go back to a wide third base position. And the count's 0-2 on Travis Hafner. Paul Bird said this may be the slowest throwing right-handed matchup of all time in postseason. Wakefield and Bird. That's foul. And the count's still 0-2.
Not how hard, it's how effective, and these two right-handers have won 32 games between them this year.
Back-to-back strikeouts of Asdrubal Cabrera and Travis Hafner, 2 out, with Sizemore at second and Victor Martinez coming up.
Joe, the question is often asked, how do you hit a knuckleball? There are many, many answers to that. I think the best that I've ever heard is you can't wait long enough. That's how you hit a knuckleball. That's how you catch a knuckleball. You just can't wait long enough. And Victor Martinez, the switch hitter, also hitting right-handed against Wakefield. Interesting.
Sizemore at second with 2 out now, and Martinez, who's playing first base tonight, takes a ball. Victor is a very good first baseman. He's the regular catcher for the Indians, and that's his spot. They don't want to take his bat out of the lineup. The guy who loses out when they make this switch and Shopik does the catching is Ryan Garko. He starts the night on the bench. Opposite way and right at J.D. Drew, and the inning is over. So there you go. Terry Francona sat on his hands and watched. He watched a leadoff walk, a stolen base, but strikeouts and a flyout. No score after 1. Here are the numbers in the ALCS for Manny Ramirez, and he has hit in 13 straight LCS games. Helped last night by David Ortiz. That's foul. Last night, Ramirez in the 4th inning after an Ortiz double down the left field line. Ramirez hit David Ortiz with a batted ball that went as a hit for Ramirez and extends his streak to 13 straight. The record is held by Pete Rose. 0-1 the count from Paul Bird, who used that double windup to strike out David Ortiz in the first. 1 ball, 1 strike. That double windup, Tim, is something that Bird uses for even more deception. It's something that really bothered Hideki Matsui in the divisional series when Bird was pitching against the Yankees.
In game 4, and he had the double windup against David Ortiz. That was a strikeout pitch to end the first inning. Six different pitches from Bird. Double windup.
On the outside corner, strike 2.
Not 1, but 2.
The towels are up with a 1-2 count. .88 miles per hour, and that's kind of his threshold for the 4-seam fastball. That's the upper reaches of his velocity limit. Everything else has usually got some kind of action to it and is not as hard, certainly, as 88. He'll throw a fastball 80, 81 miles an hour with great sink to it.
Paulie, the kid's about that. He says that 88-mile-an-hour fastball is blazing.
The double start and a rocket hit through the left side. So much for that. Manny Ramirez couldn't have hit it any harder, and he is on. He extends his LCS hitting streak to 14 straight. It was raining earlier. The tarp was on the field a couple of different times. This is just after 7:30 before our 8:15 start time. And for more on the weather situation, let's go down to Chris Myers.
Yeah, Joe, Jacobs Field, one of the fastest drying fields in all of Major League Baseball. They can handle up to 12 inches an hour, and it'll drain well. Now, they had the infield covered, not the outfield, and some of the outfielders were remarking that there's a layer of moisture that may cause the ball to skip. They're also going with metal cleats, which gives them a better grip moving in the outfield. And Coco Crisp did say that this ball plays fair with the weather conditions. We shouldn't get any more rain tonight. If it is, it'll be a slight drizzle. And I heard some of the Indian players remarking that the humidity here is allowing the knuckleball, or helping Tim Wakefield's knuckleball dance a little bit more.
Yeah, you look, Chris, at the temperature, 66 degrees on the 16th of October. Little chopper to the right side, and Martinez has only 1 play. Down to second is Manny Ramirez, 1 out. So now here we go, Tim. I mean, here we are in the lineup with J.D. Drew, Coco Crisp. And if the Red Sox are going to do anything in this ALCS, they've got to get production out of guys like J.D. Drew.
No RBIs out of Coco Crisp. Julio Lugo J.D. Drew, Dustin Pedroia, or Kevin Youkilis. 5 guys with no RBIs thus far. I was going to say, Joe, that the guys who are going to take advantage of the weather conditions in the outfield are the base runners. They have to pay particular attention to the wet conditions in the outfield.
You and I both showed up at the park today, and we thought that Jacoby Ellsbury could have found his way onto the lineup card for Terry Francona just to change it up.
Sure.
Whether in place of the guy at the plate, J.D. Drew, or Coco Crisp. Francona is unwilling to really make what could be considered a panic move and take somebody like Drew out of the lineup. The only time he will come out is for Bobby Kelty in tomorrow night's game because of his success against Sabathia. Otherwise, Francona is sticking with what he's got. Strike 2 on Drew. .64 RBIs in his first season with the Red Sox after driving home 100 a year ago with the Dodgers. Two out. And the second strikeout for Paul Bird.
He is a master at throwing balls when he is ahead in the count. They look like strikes, but just off the plate. What'd you do as a teenager? You flirted at corners. So does Paul Bird.
By the way, I said Sabathia start tomorrow night, game 5 the next game, but we all have an off day tomorrow built into the schedule. First time that teams have been through that, a planned off day. So Sabathia's start will be on Thursday night against Beckett as Crisp goes after a delivery that was up. Strike 1.
How about that? 7 hitters, 7 first pitch strikes.
And 2 on Crisp. Runner at second, 1 out in this inning. Drew struck out. And Crisp is set up at 0-2. Back-to-back strikeouts for Paul Bird. A strikeout ended the first, and then back-to-back in the second. First it was Drew. Then Coco Crisp looking. A chance for guys other than the heart of the order, and so far not getting it done for Boston. Tim Wakefield pitched around a leadoff walk and a stolen base in the first, and he drops one in for a strike to Johnny Peralta. Everybody has moved up with Garco out of the lineup, and the bottom falls out of that pitch. Strike 2.
Boy, did that thing dance.
The hero here in Cleveland, Kenny Lofton on deck, batting in the 6th spot. And Peralta knows that Wakefield's knuckleball is working tonight. You know the story about Kenny Lofton, if you don't, 11 different organizations, and in the postseason, 6 different teams. First with the Indians, a year with Atlanta, back with Cleveland, San Francisco, the Chicago Cubs in 2003 when they came so close, 04 with the Yankees, the Dodgers last year, back with the Indians. And he hit his 7th career postseason home run last night, a 2-run shot off Daisuke Matsuzaka in the second. to get the Indians off and running. Hard hit, but right at Youkilis. So 2 out, nobody on. Casey Blake coming up. The ALCS on Fox, sponsored by Budweiser. Reach for a Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Open up a world of taste. For those Red Sox fans who were worried about how Tim Wakefield would look here early after the 16-day layoff, the issue behind his right shoulder and the inflammation in there as he tries to sneak a fastball in for a strike on Casey Blake. I think you have to look at the way the knuckleball is reacting here tonight, and it's obvious that it's working.
In the early going, no argument there.
1 ball, 1 strike on Casey Blake. 3 for 12 in this ALCS, and now in the hole 1 and 2.
It's interesting to note, I think, that if you're a knuckleball pitcher, you don't throw to the glove, you don't throw to a spot. You throw to the 4 corners, the 2 tips of the shoulders of the catcher, and the 2 shin guards. It gives you a bigger target, and you let the action of the pitch take over.
Good action there, and strike 3 called. That's 4 strikeouts for Tim Wakefield. Paul Byrd has 3. Wow, that thing doesn't even turn. No score after 2 in Cleveland. Aerial coverage provided to you by Goodyear. Get home in comfort with Goodyear's Silent Armor technology. Down below at Jacobs Field, it's Byrd dealing to Mirabelli, who gets the start behind the plate when Tim Wakefield is on the mound, because he can handle the knuckleball. It is an art form, and at the plate, here's a guy who has had 10 at-bats since the middle of August and is 1 for 10 in those at-bats. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lugo will follow, then back to the top for Boston, Dustin Pedroia.
What makes Bird's windup so effective is the arm swing when he comes out of the glove. He swings the arms back. That's what differentiates him from other Cleveland pitchers and from other American League pitchers, for that matter. It's that move right there.
It's almost like he's gathering all the momentum he can to put everything he's got behind the pitch.
That's what it appears from a hitter's standpoint. The hitters, when you swing those arms back, you think your mind tells you that he's going to throw harder than he does.
2-2 on Mirabelli. First at bat this postseason. Late on an 88-mile-an-hour fastball.
Watch the arms come down. That's the difference right there. And then, of course, the double windups. We'll try to show you after the first hitter and compare the Cleveland starters with Paul Byrd's delivery.
High and tight, full count. It's the other part of it. When Wakefield makes the start for the Red Sox, they lose Jason Varitek's bat. Varitek has struggled this postseason, but he is obviously a veteran who's come up with some big hits and home runs over the years for Boston.
2-run homer last night by Varitek.
But so far, just 4 for 25 in the postseason. Still a full count on Mirabelli. Little flare into right. Gutierrez is there for out number 1.
Let's take a look at the other starters for the Indians. You see Sabathia with the arms up. He does not go back. Same with Fausto Carmona. And you had a look at Jake Westbrook last night. Goes over the head. And now Paul Byrd with both arms coming back. And, of course, the double windup. He did it against Hideki Matsui of the Yankees in Game 4. Joe alluded to that earlier. And Matsui stepped out and upset Byrd.
I think what bothered Paul in that instance is that Matsui was granted time so late.
Right.
And that is a weapon for Paul Byrd that he uses when he needs it. He's done it twice tonight. Lugo is at the plate. Julio is 2 for 11 in this ALCS. And in the hole 0-2. Byrd makes the play. 2 down. Tonight's AT&T trivia question. Kenny Lofton is the 7th oldest player to hit a home run in a postseason game. He went deep last night. Can you name the oldest? Number 7 on that list. And career postseason home run number 7 as Dustin Pedroia steps in. Westbrook was so good last night for Cleveland. Threw a first pitch strike to 21 of the 27 batters he faced. Wow. Including a first pitch strike to the first 11. And Paul Byrd is doing the same thing to the Red Sox tonight.
9 of 10 first pitches have been strikes for Paul Byrd.
6 2/3 innings last night for Westbrook. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pedroia went after the first pitch. His first time up and grounded to the right of Casey Blake, the third baseman, made the play. A leadoff hit by Manny Ramirez, and that's it. 3 strikeouts and no walks. Typical start for Paul Byrd. 2-1.
Little chin music by Paul Byrd. Rushing Pedroia back.
Club record for Byrd with only 28 walks during the regular season. Two and two. The opposite way, and a great piece of hitting by Pedroia. And for a guy who has struggled, that has to feel good.
Textbook hitting with 2 strikes. The ball outside off the plate, and Pedroia just punches it to right field. That's a fine approach, and with good approaches, you get good results.
Mentioned it last night with Manny Ramirez at first base, but DeMarlo Hale, the third base coach, doing it now whenever anybody's on first base. He comes over halfway down the third base line to give the sign to the runner at first and to the hitter. 2 out. Pedroia on. Youkilis up. And that's into left field, a base hit. On one hop to Kenny Lofton, and it presents David Ortiz with a 2-on, 2-out opportunity here in the 3rd inning.
The first ball hitting. Obviously, the Red Sox quite aware that Byrd is throwing the first pitch for a strike. So they're up there hacking. This is the situation the Red Sox wanted.
And this is the guy they want at the plate. However, no RBIs so far in the ALCS. Big reason why the guys in front of him aren't getting on. They do here with 2 out. And Ortiz tries to deliver a blow for Boston. went after the first pitch. Strike one. In this series for the Red Sox with runners in scoring position, the 3, 4, 5 hitters, 5 out of 9. The rest of the team just 2 for 24. Last night the Red Sox loaded the bases in the second with nobody out, did not score. And Lofton put Cleveland ahead with a 2-run home run, and now with David Ortiz up, 2 on, 2 out, and an 0-2 count. Just outside.
2 fastballs in, and now this pitch. Misses.
One ball, 2 strikes. Fights it off. Before Ortiz, he's had a shoulder issue. He got a cortisone injection there in August. The knee problem. It's the right knee. It's not his back knee, that drive knee, but it's the one he lands on. I said in his first at bat, he likes to sit down on those legs and get his push when he makes his swing. It has affected his power in the postseason. He grounds one right to the second baseman, at least in that position. And it's Peralta, the shortstop, on the other side of the bag, making the play. Another chance for Boston, 2 on, 2 out. They've left 3 after 2.5, no score. First pitch bounces in to Franklin Gutierrez. He'll be followed by Kelly Shopik and then Grady Sizemore. 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Indians. As we mentioned 2 innings ago, they've scored first in the last 3 games. That drops low. It's 2-0. Gutierrez getting the start tonight. Last night it was Trot Nixon.
He'll get a fastball to hit right here. You got to be ready for the fastball.
And it misses high, ball 3, 3-0. Gutierrez, the 24-year-old, trying to get on to start the 3rd inning, takes a strike. Misses, ball 4, and the second walk handed out by Tim Wakefield. Leadoff walk in the first, a leadoff walk here in the 3rd inning. The AT&T trivia question: Kenny Lofton, the 7th oldest player to hit a home run in a postseason game. Who's the oldest? Julio Franco did it at the age of 43. Dave Winfield. Both those top 2 guys did it twice. Why you don't see the days on there, but Julio Franco is the oldest to accomplish it. 43 plus years, and now a strike is into the number 9 man, Kelly Shopik.
I think one of the reasons Eric Wedge is not going to play it straight up and bunt Gutierrez to second base is a knuckleball is as tough to bunt as it is to hit.
In for strike 2. Meanwhile, if you're wondering about the stolen base, Gutierrez, a runner at first, stole 8 in 11 attempts. the hands and foul. Shopik was originally with the Red Sox and was part of the Coco Crisp deal back in January of 2006. He has caught every one of Paul Bird's starts, something that started the first week of the season. Eric Wedge wanted to get Victor Martinez a regular day off, and so Shopik took over, and the two work extremely well together. Shopik got to start Game 4 of the division series at Yankee Stadium, hit 2 doubles. Still 0-2.
Kelly went to Baylor University, fouls off the knuckleball. He'll get only knuckleballs for the rest of the at-bat, one would assume. Went to Baylor University and wanted us to say hello to his college coach, Steve Smith, watching our game tonight down in Fort Worth. Kelly still talks to Steve every other week. And Steve very, very interested in Kelly's progress.
0-2 the count, and a check on Gutierrez. During the regular season, Shopik hit .261, hit 7 home runs, 30 RBIs. He's a backup catcher and the catcher for Bird, but he can hit. And he can strike out as he does here, number 5 on the night for Tim Wakefield.
Wakefield has it going tonight.
And the questions coming in as we look at our WebMD injury report, how would his back hold up? You can call it a back, you can call it a shoulder. It's inflammation behind his right shoulder. That's where he got the cortisone injection. And for more information on injuries affecting your team, visit WebMD.com. So far, so good for Wakefield as Sizemore, who walked and stole a base his first time, stands in and swings over the top of it. Grady's had the one good game, and it was a big one. Game 2 of this series, the 11-inning, 13-6 win. He was 3 for 5 with a homer and a double. One ball, one strike.
Remember the last half inning, we talked about how Tim Wakefield throws to a bigger target because the knuckleball dances so much. The 2 shoulders and the 2 shin guards. So that gives him that for the target instead of just the mitt.
What the Red Sox bench is looking for, and in particular Terry Francona and John Farrell, the pitching coach, is what we're seeing from Tim Wakefield. And that is he comes set and comes right from the set position and brings it to the plate. Does not rear back at all.
He can do that because of the stiff left leg. Watch his stiff left leg. Ready to go home or first.
This time it's first, and Gutierrez, who has not even made a bluff over at first base, back easily. Wakefield came up with the Pirates in '92, was 8-1. 1993, 6-11, eventually let go and signed by Boston as a minor league free agent. The Red Sox have a $4 million option on his contract for next year, and I would imagine is just a foregone conclusion that they'll bring him back. The number of innings that he gives you, the wins, for $4 million in today's market is a bargain.
Chump change.
The 2-1. 3 balls and a strike on Grady Sizemore. And here are the overall numbers and where he ranks in Red Sox history. 2nd in games, 3rd in wins, 3rd in strikeouts. He's only 3 behind Pedro Martinez, who's in the number 2 spot. There's a strike, and it's a full count.
Now I think you have to send Gutierrez because Grady Sizemore is such a good hitter that he'll probably get a 3-2 knuckleball. If he got a 3-1 knuckleball, you know he's going to throw it again 3-2.
There he goes, and there's a ground ball to first. Good play by Youkilis, out at first, 2 away. Right on the bag, holding against the runner, and the ball was hit right at the big body of Kevin Youkilis.
Sizemore, that ball was out over the plate, and he went to swing, and it bit inside late. Good play by Youkilis, whose last error was July 4th of 06. Almost a year and a half without committing an error at first.
That was a left bicep stop. As Drupal Cabrera stands in, a base hit to give the Indians a lead here in the 3rd inning. 2 out, runner at second. And a little fly ball, shallow left center field, and Coco Chris comes in to grab it. We go to the 4th inning. It's a pitcher's duel between Paul Byrd and Tim Wakefield. Indians and Red Sox, no score. The ALCS on Fox, sponsored by Transformers. Own it on DVD and HD DVD today. By the new AT&T, your world delivered. And by Taco Bell, where a little flavor goes a long way. Think outside the bun. 4th inning already of this ALCS Game 4, and Manny Ramirez, who has one of 3 Boston hits. Indians do not have a hit yet. They've been handed 2 walks. That's all by Wakefield. Manny stands in. 14 straight LCS games he has hit safely. And he tries to get something started with Lowell and J.D. Drew coming up after him. We had a chance to visit with Eric Wedge, the manager of the Indians, and we'll try to give you that conversation after Ramirez does something here to start the 4th. Now the first pitch strike from Paul Byrd. He's making his 5th career postseason start. Top 2 starters for the Indians did not fare well at Fenway. The next 2 have certainly been strong here at home for the Indians. Westbrook last night, Paul Byrd tonight. The 1-1. Right center field. Sizemore to his left. 1 out. Here is our talk with Eric Wedge, the manager of the Indians, and we first ask about his starter, Paul Byrd. He looks like he's on tonight.
Yeah, I think both of them are, and Birdie's out there doing what he does, and he's working well together with Kelly behind the plate and mixing and matching a little bit, and Wakefield's got it going on his end right now too.
Cabrera and Martinez batting right-handed as switch hitters against him. Did you talk about that?
Yeah, we talked about it. Victor has done it before, had some success against knuckleballers, and Asdrubal is kind of new to him, but I think Victor and Asdrubal talked about it a little bit, so we'll probably stick with that.
You have had a steady hand throughout the season, throughout the postseason. Your team has been steady. How was the mood today after the win last night, coming into the ballpark today up 2-1?
Pretty consistent. It's been that way for quite a while now, and it's the way it should be. It's the way we want it to be. And, these guys have a pretty good head about them, just in regard from day to day and what we need to do to be successful as a ball club. And today was status quo with that.
We appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay.
It's Eric Wedge in his 5th year here with the Indians. His club up 2-1, and what Paul Byrd is doing for him on the mound is he's getting ahead early, obviously, with these first pitch strikes. The Red Sox as a team are typically really players in a lineup who like to watch pitches and like to make a pitcher work. So what Byrd is making him do now is go after the first pitch, which is a little out of their element.
Yeah, find the middle of the plate early and then go off the plate late.
Yeah, there's no doubt that when he's on, he makes the hitters swing at his pitches. Bottom falls out of that pitch. Strike 2.
Yeah, like that sinker just out of the strike zone down. but he gets a swinging strike.
J.D. Drew struck out his first time with Ramirez at second and 1 out. He's 3 for 12 in this ALCS and 5 for 23 with 3 RBIs in the postseason. Just got a piece. As a club, this is a Red Sox team that during the regular season hit .279. That was 5th best in the American League. So to hit .279 as a team, you needed up and down your lineup. But that has not happened in this postseason. The double start. And the base hit into center field by J.D. Drew. So he extends the top of the 4th inning and brings Coco Crisp to the plate.
Pumps once, pumps twice, and does not fool Drew.
So there's a hit for J.D. Drew, but it's just a 2-out single. See if Coco Crisp and anybody else in this Red Sox lineup can do something with that. Coco struck out his first time. Pretty close.
Quick feet. That was a very good move by Paul Bird. Very close.
Ooh, how they got him.
Ooh. Very close.
Right under the right arm. Crisp now into right field. Easy for Gutierrez to his right. The inning is over. 4 singles tonight for the Red Sox. That is all. No runs in the game. And Travis Hafner, the DH, will lead it off for the Indians in the bottom of the 4th. Bottom of the 4th inning here in Cleveland, and the DH, Travis Hafner, looks at a knuckleball for strike 1. Hafner, Victor Martinez, Johnny Peralta. For Cleveland, and the Indians look for their first hit. Only 2 walks, and both were leadoff walks handed out by Wakefield so far tonight. Good pitch from Tim Wakefield, 0-2.
Terry Francona talking about Tim Wakefield being at his best when the knuckleballs are low, and they've been low tonight.
We just talked with Terry Francona, and we'll give you that interview after Hafner does something. On deck, Victor Martinez, then Johnny Peralta. Two and two.
Those last 2 knuckleballs were not good knuckleballs, not because they weren't in the strike zone, but because they were flat and hung up.
Hafner strikes out on a foul tip. That ball was down, and Hafner comes up empty. Strikeout number 6.
So after missing twice with a knuckleball, right back with a good one that really dips to get Hafner.
And so now with 1 out, nobody on, Victor Martinez steps in. Victor flied out to right his first time up. Sizemore walked and stole second in the first. Was left there. Franklin Gutierrez walked, but was stranded in the third, and that is it against Wakefield. Line drive into center. Crisp is there. 2 out. Here is our chat with Terry Francona. We talked about how sharp Tim Wakefield has looked early.
He does look good. Unfortunately for us, so does Bird. But Wakey's, the things we talked about before the game, he's quick enough to the plate where he's not trying to load up on his knuckleball, and he's getting it down in the zone, and he's throwing strikes. He does look good.
Let's talk about your lineup. You're waiting for somebody other than your big three to step up and do something for you, and that wait continues for you here tonight.
Yeah, we got to get Bird. You know, it's almost like he's in a rocking chair right now. He's real comfortable. He's throwing that cutter to his glove side. We got to get him out of the stretch and start doing some things because he looks real comfortable out there.
Terry, thanks for your time.
Okay, guys.
And while we play you the interview, it was a double off the wall by Johnny Peralta. The ball just not carrying on this particular swing. It's a 2-out double.
First hit of the night for the Indians against Wakefield. Too much topspin. It was a high knuckleball. We talked about how Francona said if it's down, it's good. If it's up, it's not. So Johnny Peralta with the first hit of the night for Cleveland.
Manny Ramirez, who knows that 19-foot wall well, here at Jacobs Field, played it perfectly, got it back in, but it was a clean double all the way for Peralta. And now here he is again, Kenny Lofton, with a chance to put the Indians on top. Rounded out his first time, homered last night. Takes ball one. Wakefield wanted the pitch, didn't get it. Kenny Lofton has more career at-bats against Tim Wakefield than against any other pitcher. Lifetime, a .278 hitter. 20 out of 72 coming in. 20 out of 73 now. 20 out of 74. And the inning is over. We go to the fifth, game 4, Cleveland. A look at downtown where they're all fired up. Here in Cleveland, Ohio, where they hope the Indians will head on to the World Series. No score after 4. Back after this from your local Fox station. Paul Bird has been outstanding. Tim Wakefield has been even better. 4 hits for Boston, 1 hit for the Indians. No score, 5th inning. Doug Mirabelli first up. 8, 9, and 1 hitters and a fastball for a strike. That is a Mirabelli complaint. Little look out of the corner of his eye, and that look on his face said it all. He thought it was high. That's down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lugo next, and then Pedroia. Two and 1. Hard hit, foul. 2 and 2. On Thursday, it's game 5. Off day tomorrow in this series, and a rematch of game 1. Won by Josh Beckett. Beckett and Sabathia on the air right here on Fox at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Ball 3.
Terry Francona saying that the cutter of Paul Bird, the one that goes away from the right-handed batter in on the left-hander, has been giving the Red Sox fits tonight. It's a pitch where a pitcher puts pressure on the middle finger and just cuts through the ball. Goes away from right-handers.
Mirabelli chases ball 4, strikes out, and that's the 4th strikeout of the night for Paul Bird.
And on cue, a cut fastball gets Mirabelli. Let's look at some of the other grips of a man who throws 6 different pitches. The fastballs. Different use of the seams. And the off-speed pitches. The slider. Curveball and the changeup. It's a 1-finger changeup. I'm telling you, he is a dandy when he explains those different pitches. Need a calculator back there if you're a catcher.
1-0 pitch to Julio Lugo with 1 out, nobody on. Hard hit into left field, and Lofton is there. Had trouble, lost it maybe in the lights, but made the play 2 out.
Hit well by Lugo. Yeah, it was close. You're right, Joe. Right there.
But Kenny has been doing it for 17 years in the big league, so he knew where that ball was going to end up approximately. And made the catch 2 out, back to the top of the lineup in Pedroia, who's 1 for 2. And he takes a strike. In the bottom of this 5th inning, the Indians will have the bottom 3 in their lineup: Blake, Gutierrez, and Shopping. Paul Byrd was originally drafted by Cleveland in 1991 out of LSU. Was 4 years in the Indian system, then traded to the Mets. Was with New York 95, 96. Then to Atlanta, Philadelphia, Kansas City, the Angels. Settled back in with the Indians. They're glad they've got him. Pedroia is 1 for 3 halfway through game number 4 here in Cleveland. Indians and Red Sox, no score. The ALCS on Fox is sponsored by Chevy and American Revolution. Beautiful look at this stadium, Jacobs Field. Indians have played here since 1994. Here's Casey Blake. The third baseman struck out his first time. No score. Bottom of the 5th and a strike over the inside corner. Interesting conversation during the break between Terry Francona, the manager of the Red Sox, and the home plate umpire, Paul Emmel, who is wearing a microphone, as this ball is hit deep into left, and the Indians score first again. Straight games they have struck first, and they do it tonight on a home run by Casey Blake. Crowd still on its feet as ball 1 skips into Gutierrez.
One thing Francona telling us before the game is that a knuckleball is so light, and if you make crisp contact, when that ball is up, it'll fly. Casey Blake had 18 during the year and his first here in the postseason.
Gutierrez tries to bunts it foul, and it brings back our original point of the Indians. And while it's been somebody different every night along the lines of the Colorado Rockies, they're getting big hits, home runs, run production out of spots throughout their lineup. Whether it's game 2 and the leadoff spot, Grady Sizemore, or it's last night, the number 7 hitter Lofton, a 2-run home run, or Peralta in game 2 with a home run out of the 6th spot. Tonight, Casey Blake hitting 7th. His teammate Grady Sizemore during the lineups called him the mountain man with that beard, and he just hit a rocket out to left to make it 1-0 here in the 5th. 1-2 pitch to Gutierrez is clunked into left field, a base hit. And Franklin will round first and hold with a single with nobody out.
Right up in his eyes. That was an odd swing at an odd pitch and a good result for Gutierrez. But again, the knuckleball that's up.
Talking to Eric Wedge, the Indians manager, he said, you hear all different theories how to hit it. We've heard about Francona's thoughts on it. Wedge said one of them is to let the ball get over your head. That ball, when it started, was over the head of Franklin Gutierrez and dropped down about letter high, and he got the base hit into left. Now runner on, nobody out, and a check on Gutierrez. Kelly Shopik at the plate. Started to talk about a conversation that Terry Francona had with Paul Emmel, the home plate umpire, regarding Paul Byrd and his delivery, which we will get to at some point as Shopik is hit, and it's 2 on with nobody out and a run already home.
Tim Wakefield has given up 3 runs or more in 15 innings this year. 51 earned runs of his 100. So right at 50%. And Terry Francona said when he goes poorly, it's usually a walk, a hit, a home run. Well, this inning we've had a home run, a hit batsman.
Jason Varitek sprints down to the bullpen to loosen up, help out. Del Carmen gets loose on the mound. And with 2 on, nobody out, we'll tell you that this week Fox NFL Sunday returns a doubleheader beginning with the 49ers and Giants in New York. Giants have won 4 straight. Vikings go to Dallas to take on the Cowboys coming off their loss against the Patriots. For other regional action, coverage begins with the Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show. Noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific in high def right here on Fox. Here is Grady Sizemore. Strike 1 outside corner.
Mike Lowell, the third baseman, looking for the bunt. I didn't think Sizemore was even thinking about a bunt. I think he's too good a hitter to give up an out in this situation. Remember, talking about a guy who is as tough to bunt as he is to hit.
That's over but low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sizemore tonight has walked, stolen a base, and grounded out. Hitless with runners in scoring position is Grady Sizemore in the postseason. To the right side. Out at second, and that's the only play. First and third, 1 away.
A good play by Lugo, who knew that with Grady Sizemore running, there's no way to get him at first base. So when he crosses the bag, he looks at third. And had Gutierrez taken a wide turn, he would have thrown to third base. A heads-up play by Lugo, even though Gutierrez didn't take the bait.
Well, this is the first time that the Indians have had a runner at third, and that runner is Gutierrez. That is always in play with a knuckleball pitcher on the mound. And the pressure is on Mirabelli to handle these pitches, avoid the pass ball or wild pitch, and keep Gutierrez 90 feet away.
10 wild pitches on the year by Wakefield.
First pitch swinging. Cabrera pops it up. Right side. Euclid makes the juggle and drops it. It's a foul ball, and Gutierrez will have to go back to third.
Very alert base running by Gutierrez, because had Euclid finally made this catch, Gutierrez scores.
And Tim, in a weird way, it's a break for the Red Sox.
That's right.
That Euclid dropped it.
Because the runner from third, when he's tagging up, can go immediately when the fielder makes contact with the ball. He doesn't have to wait until the fielder catches the ball. So the ball bouncing around and a real break that the Red Sox didn't get the out. What a weird play.
And it's ruled no play, so no error on Euclid on that ball down the right field line. It says Drupal Cabrera at the plate, first and third, 1 out. And an 0-1 count. And Wakefield, who has 6 strikeouts, would love number 7 right here. On deck, Travis Hafner.
I think the base is yours if you want to take it if you're Grady Sizemore. With a 2-strike count and that knuckleball dancing, I don't think the Red Sox are even thinking about a pitch out.
Off Wakefield's glove, it dribbles behind the mound, and it's 2-0 Cleveland.
Well, the breaks of the game, and the Indians with a big break. If Wakefield not touched that ball, I think Pedroia was in a position to make the play. But Wakefield flags it down, and an infield hit for Asdrubal Cabrera. You could almost see Pedroia in the background right there. I think he makes that play. Had Wakefield not touched it, yeah, it would have been right to him.
So Gutierrez scores, makes it 2-0 Indians. It's first and second, still only 1 out. And the batter is Hafner. Strike 1 outside corner. So what could have been an inning-ending double play goes as an infield hit as Wakefield gets enough of it to knock it down. Sizemore to second. Cabrera on at first. He has an RBI. Had a big RBI hit in last night's game in a 2-run 5th. And it's Hafner, strike 2. Runners on at first and second, 1 out. And Hafner set up at no balls, 2 strikes. Good job by Mirabelli to catch that pitch. 1-2. Wakefield on 16 days of rest, has not made a start since the 29th of September through a simulated game last Tuesday. And involved in a long 5th inning here with 2 on, 2 runs home. And a 1-2 to Hafner is over but low, 2-2. In the inning, and strikeout number 7 on the night for Wakefield, 3 of them against Travis Hafner.
Talked about the high knuckleball. This ball too high for Travis. So Hafner goes chasing, and Wakefield gets away with the high knuckler.
Boston in the 6th inning will have Youkilis, Ortiz, and Ramirez. Victor Martinez is trying to add to a 2-zip lead. The 2 on, 2 out in the 5th for the Indians.
Victor now 0 for 7 as a right-handed batter in this league championship series.
Ball 1. Wakefield is trying to do what Matsuzaka and Schilling could not do. Get through 5 innings. Two and 0.
Francona not sitting on his hands anymore.
They're folded and he's pacing.
Yeah.
That's backing out of play. Indians up in this series 2-1, and up here in game 4, 2-0 in the 5th. Two and two. In game 2 for Cleveland, it was Sizemore and Peralta, the two main hitting stars, with Nixon coming off the bench to get the game winner in the 11th. Last night, it was a home run from Kenny Lofton and an RBI by Cabrera. Tonight, more names on the list. Casey Blake with a leadoff home run here in the 5th inning, and then the rookie has Drupal Cabrera, second straight night with an RBI base hit. Hard hit, pace hit through the left side. Sizemore coming to the plate. Ramirez no throw. It's 3-0 Cleveland here in the 5th.
So the first hit as a right-handed batter in this series by Victor Martinez, who drove in 114 this year.
Josh Beckett for the Red Sox got through 6 innings in game 1 of this ALCS. Boston with 3 other starters who are knocked out in the 5th. And it continues here with Wakefield. Blake got it going with a leadoff home run. Manny Del Carmen will bring his fastball changeup combination into this game with 2 on, 2 out. And Johnny Peralta at the plate for the Indians, up 3-0 here in the 5th. Good rip by Peralta on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, strike 1. Indians trying to take total control of this game and series here in the middle innings. They're getting everything they could have hoped for out of Paul Byrd. They've knocked out Tim Wakefield after 4 2/3. A chance for more, and they're getting contributions up and down this lineup, which is what the Red Sox are not getting. And look at the hitting coach for Eric Wedge, Derek Shelton. 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball misses low, 2-1. If it's all about the pitching in the postseason, then it's no mystery as to why the Boston Red Sox are in the situation they're in, down 2-1. They're 1 win behind Beckett, who's not on the list. But Schilling, Matsuzaka, and Wakefield 4 2/3 the last 3 games. 2-1. In the air to right, well hit. Drew back at the wall. It is gone. 6-0.
in the count. Fastball away. Peralta with his second 3-run homer in the last 3 games.
He hit one off Schilling to dead center at Fenway, and he gets Manny Del Carmen here in the 5th to double the lead. Now Lofton takes ball 1. So 2 big 3-run shots by Johnny Peralta in the 4 games played. The man at the plate went deep last night. Casey Blake started this inning with a home run to left. Lofton gets in on the fun with a base hit to left center. Ninth man to bat in the inning, and Kenny Lofton just got his 96th career postseason hit. John Farrell, the pitching coach, is out to talk to Del Carmen.
Joe, conventional wisdom tells us that one of the more dangerous things in baseball and for a pitcher is to give a leadoff walk to a hitter. However, we've researched this, and one would think that a leadoff home run, Casey Blake had the leadoff home run in this inning, would lead to fewer multi-run innings than a leadoff walk. That's not true. A leadoff home run this year has led to more multi-run innings than a leadoff walk.
It has led to 6 here in the 5th inning, and Javier Lopez gets loose for Boston with Casey Blake, the guy who started it with a home run off Wakefield. Wakefield came into this 5th having allowed 1 hit, walked 2, and it struck out 6. And the roof fell in a hurry.
Man.
4 2/3, 5 runs, 5 hits. A ball to Casey Blake. Lofton is stealing. Throw by Mirabelli. Too late.
Lofton choosing the right pitch on which to run, a breaking ball. And the throw by Mirabelli is on target, but late.
And now for Kenny Lofton, a record, albeit with the extra round, one more than Ricky Henderson had to do his thing. The divisional series, but that is 34 career postseason stolen bases. One more than Ricky Henderson. Henderson, for the bulk of his career, did not have 2 tiers of playoffs before the World Series. 1 ball, 2 strikes, runner at second, 2 out. Two and 2. Casey Blake on 2 and 2. Little fly ball, center field might fall. It's a base hit. It's another run. It's 7-0 Indians in the 5th.
Casey Blake did it in two different ways here in the fifth inning. A home run on the fat part of the bat, and now a single, dumping it in front of the diving Coco Crisp.
Coming up well short, giving it everything he had out in center. And it is the second 7-run inning of this series for the Indians. They did it in game 2 in the 11th to win 13-6, and Kenny Lofton makes that stolen base pay off immediately as he scores on the hit by Blake. Game 2 of this ALCS, Casey Blake struck out twice in the same inning in the 11th. A little different tonight. 2 RBIs and 2 different at-bats for Casey Blake here in the 5th.
Nooks and crannies of a bad inning can't happen with a break. And remember that ball hit by Cabrera, that Wakefield ball hit out of his webbing, and had he let it go, of course it was a reaction play, but possibly, perhaps, Pedroia could have turned the double play.
27-minute half inning. That's why the 36-year-old Paul Byrd is hanging from the roof of the dugout trying to keep his shoulders loose. Temperature in the 60s, and now he's going to go down and do whatever else he has to do to get ready.
Paul probably thinking, guys, just take your time. Score as much as you want. I'll handle the rest.
The Indians have outscored the Red Sox 18-2 since the 11th inning of Game 2. Seven runs in the 11th, 4 runs last night, and 7 runs here in the 5th inning tonight. John Lester, the left-hander, starts to loosen up for Boston. Gutierrez steps out. He has walked, he has singled, and scored. His single followed the home run by Casey Blake at the start of this inning a half hour ago. 2-2 from Del Carmen. Runner at first, 2 out, 2-2 pitch is grounded foul. So Wakefield getting the start tonight. Only 1 hit through 4 innings, but cannot get through the 5th. And now barring a huge rally by the Red Sox, with an off day tomorrow, Josh Beckett will take the ball on Thursday night against CC Sabathia. A 20-game winner against a 19-game winner. The hopes to get this series back to Boston will be riding on their big right-hander, Josh Beckett, on Thursday night. 3 balls, 2 strikes now on Gutierrez, who's had a good at-bat. Meanwhile, the Indians will have Sabathia, who's looking for one solid start this postseason to try and end it and solidify their spot in the World Series and a date with the Colorado Rockies. Runner will go. 3-2 pitch is low. First walk handed out by Del Carmen, and it's our Verizon game summary here in game number 4. And it has all taken place here in the 5th inning. Paul Byrd is through 5, no runs on 4 hits in the top 2 spots. Casey Blake with a solo home run, later an RBI single, and Johnny Peralta, the big blow. The 2-out, 3-run home run the opposite way off Del Carmen. Del Carmen looks like he's running out of gas. Ball 1. Number 9 man Shopik at the plate, his second at bat. Hit by a pitch by Wakefield. 31 minutes ago. (2-0).
Del Carmen has faced 4 batters. A 3-run home run, a single, and a walk. And now he's behind Shopik.
And Lugo and Mirabelli converge on the mound to try and slow him down. Goodyear blimp providing aerial coverage of this game 4 here in the ALCS. And don't forget, you can get home in comfort with Goodyear Silent Armor technology. Josh Beckett will have the extra rest, as will Sabathia. 2-0 the count on Shopik. So much for running out of steam. 96 miles per hour on a fastball blown right by Shopik's bat. Three balls and a strike. On deck is a left-handed hitting Sizemore. We showed you that Lester is getting loose. Something that Terry Francona talked about, specifically not wanting to bring Lester in the middle of an inning because he's not used to pitching out of the bullpen. He did so in game 2. Gave up that long home run to Franklin Gutierrez, but he may get another shot. But Shopik keeps it going. Full count. Runners go, 3-2 pitch, and they have to return. Again, Youkilis, Ortiz, and Ramirez will bat for the Red Sox in the 6th. But only 2 singles among that group against Paul Byrd so far. And Byrd will have at least a 7-run lead when he heads back to work. Runners go, and Shopik strikes out. But a huge inning. And it started with that. 6 more runs later, including the home run by Peralta. Sabathia loves it. So do the fans in Cleveland, up 7-0. We welcome you back to the 6th inning, and the Red Sox find themselves down 7-0 to Paul Byrd. Byrd getting run support in the bottom of the 5th inning. 7 runs on 7 hits, highlighted by the home runs by Blake and Johnny Peralta. And Paul Byrd deals another strike. He's a machine. 0-2 the count. Paul lives in Alpharetta, Georgia, and he has certainly picked up from the rotation side of things where Jake Westbrook left off last night. The winner in the clincher, Game 4 at Yankee Stadium, and even better here this evening as Youkilis rides one into left field, up and way out. Youkilis with his first RBI of this ALCS, and it's 7-1 here in the 6th inning. And some fan throws that ball all the way back into the infield where Peralta throws it into the Indians' dugout, and the Red Sox are on the board as Youkilis goes deep.
Yeah, so the Indians get a 7-run inning in an inning where Casey Blake homers to begin the inning, and now the Red Sox trying to duplicate that. A leadoff home run.
And Ortiz takes the ball. Pretty good arm.
Yeah.
Shift on the infield for Ortiz, who takes ball 2, and just like that, action starts for the Indians in their bullpen. Two and one. How about the Liberty Mutual in-game box score in just the 5th inning for the Indians? Cabrera a hit, Martinez a hit, an RBI, a run scored. Peralta the 3-run shot, 2 RBIs for Casey Blake. And now Ortiz rockets one into right field. This ball is gone. Back to back. Go Youkilis and David Ortiz, and it's a 5-run game here in the 6th inning, and there wasn't anything cheap about either one of them.
Well, you just knew that the Red Sox lineup, dormant up to this point, was not going to remain that way. 2 good hitters.
Manny Ramirez and Mike Lowell went back-to-back in Game 2, and now Kevin Youkilis and David Ortiz turn it here in the 6th inning of Game 4.
First 2 times up, Paul Byrd burying the ball in on David Ortiz. He does not get this one in. And Ortiz homers.
And that fan, by the way, to this point has not thrown the ball back onto the field.
Oh.
It's a souvenir out there, and it's a big hand for Paul Byrd as he gets a visit from his manager, Eric Wedge. No sign yet, with Jensen Lewis getting loose out in the bullpen. And here comes Lewis. Out goes Byrd, and the fans will appreciate his effort tonight. Here's an Indians fan who got the ball that was hit by Ortiz, and they get right to the point, Red Sox fans do. A Boston fan paid the Cleveland fan for the souvenir, and she just gave it right away. After the fan in left field launched it back onto the field on the ball hit by Youkilis. Here's Jensen Lewis.
How mercenary.
Nobody on or out, 2 runs home. Back-to-back home runs by Youkilis and Ortiz. $20 for a fan out beyond the wall and right. And a 5-run game here in the 6th inning of Game 4. Ramirez, Lowell, and J.D. Drew against Jensen Lewis. An impressive rookie. Finds the strike zone. It's 1-1. No team has ever gone back to back to back in LCS history, in case you're wondering. Strike 2 on Manny Ramirez. You have to wonder as we go through the rest of this game if that 2-out, 3-run home run hit by Johnny Peralta is going to be the backbreaker for the Red Sox here tonight. A 3-0 game. Del Carmen came in, and Johnny Peralta, behind on the count, hit an opposite field home run into right, which took it from 3-0 to 6-0. Another run driven in by Blake. It was 7-0, now 7-2.
Red Sox striking again with 2 outs. 5 of those 7 runs that scored in the 5th inning came with 2-out RBIs. I meant Cleveland, beg your pardon. So 5 of the 7 runs scored by the Indians with 2 outs.
Ramirez chops it foul. This game sailed through the first 4 innings with the pitching of Wakefield and Paul Byrd, and it has hit a roadblock in the 5th and now in the top of the 6th.
Runs take time.
Red Sox wanted to stand still here in the top half and climb back in this game. Two and 2 on Ramirez, who is 1 for 2. Full count. On deck is Lowell. Jensen Lewis, relieved in last night's game, through a 1/3 of an inning, came on to strike out Pedroia for the final out of the top of the 7th, and he's part of what has developed into a great late inning relief corps for Eric Wedge. Good rip by Manny Ramirez.
Something you rarely see Manny do, and that's with 2 strikes, swinging the ball out of the strike zone. That ball was up, ball 4.
Varitek now back in the dugout with his shin guards on, and he could take over for Mirabelli. Mirabelli got the start because Wakefield did. He's his catcher. Varitek is itching to jump in the game. Another 3-2 to Ramirez. And a fly ball well hit right center field, and the Red Sox, for the first time ever in LCS history, have gone back to back to back. Euclid, Ortiz, Ramirez, and it's a 4-run game. And Ramirez stood there forever and admired that shot into the bullpen, which draws the ire of some of the fans here in Cleveland.
First Euclid, then Ortiz, and then Ramirez.
He went deep in that same spot at Fenway Park in Game 2. Incredible power the other way, and that ball was a laser out into the Indians bullpen, where they spring back to action with a home run against Jensen Lewis Now Lowell. 1 ball, 1 strike, and Rafael Perez, the lefty, gets loose. Red Sox fans remember April 22nd against the Yankees when the Red Sox hit 4 straight. Ramirez, Drew, Lowell, and Veritek. 5th team in Major League history to hit 4 consecutive home runs, and the 2nd team to hit all 4 against the same pitcher. That was Chase Wright. It's a ground ball to third off the bat of Lowell, and the first out here in the 6th inning. First it was Ramirez, then Drew, then Lowell, and then Veritek. And we didn't hear much from Chase Wright after that in 2007, and he went back to the minor leagues to regroup. First pitch, a strike to J.D. Drew, who was in on that fun. He has a hit tonight, 1 for 2 with a strikeout, a single, and a 4-run game in the 6th. Off the end of the bat into left for Kenny Lofton. 2 out. Coco Crisp will be the hitter. The ALCS on Fox, sponsored by Verizon Wireless. Catch Fox Sports action on your phone with VCast from Verizon Wireless. Now it's Crisp.
Be 2 out, nobody on. I'm not too sure I'd put Veritek in the game if Crisp makes the last out. You kind of save him for an out and let him lead off the 7th inning. You really don't need him. I mean, you keep Mirabelli back there, you're still trailing by 4, and you see what develops. Obviously, if Crisp gets on, then you pinch hit Veritek. But if Crisp makes an out, I'm not too sure I'd put Veritek back there for defense.
We will find out as Kenny Lofton comes in, makes the play. Crisp is out. And in the inning, back to back to back. Nothing cheap about any of them. Youkilis, Big Papi, and Manny Ramirez 7-3 after 5.5. Jason Veritek does indeed take over behind the plate. And on the mound, it's John Lester. Lester made 11 starts, 4-0. Starting the bottom of the 6th inning in what is now a 4-run game after the Red Sox went back to back to back. There's the general manager, Theo Epstein of the Boston Red Sox, watching his team down in the series and down in game 4, but making some noise in the top of this inning. Breaking ball misses from Lester, and it counts 1-2. A starter through the minor leagues, a starter in the big leagues with the Red Sox, a check swing, and Grady Sizemore did not go around. And a guy that everybody in baseball is rooting for. Diagnosed with anaplastic large cell lymphoma in late August last year, was 7-2 with an ERA of 4.76 at the time, and he has worked his way back from that. One of the bright stars in what is a very good system, player development wise, for the Boston Red Sox. You've got Lester here. The closer Papelbon came up through the organization. And Clay Buchholz threw a no-hitter this year in a start for Boston.
Second major league start.
Up and in, ball 3 now to Grady Sizemore. On the position player side, the Red Sox have Jacoby Ellsbury, who looks like he's going to be a superstar on the roster for this postseason. That is over but low, and a leadoff walk to Grady Sizemore. There's been a lot of discussion about this Game 4 start. It went to Tim Wakefield, who was so good for 4 innings. Got roughed up in the 5th, and the question was throughout, would you go to Beckett on short rest in Game 4 and have him on regular rest for a potential Game 7 and have him 3 times in this series make a start? Ken Rosenthal of FoxSports.com is with us, and that is something we've talked about for the last couple of nights. Have you learned any more about the situation with Beckett?
Yes, Joe. Lost in all the debate about Josh Beckett pitching on 3 days rest is the fact that he might not have been physically capable of doing it. Beckett threw only 80 pitches in Game 1, in part because his back tightened up, and that start apparently took a lot out of him. When he was asked at a pregame news conference if he could have pitched tonight, he declined to answer that question directly. Including his 2 postseason starts, he's now thrown more than 215 innings this season. That's a career high. He will go on 5 days rest in Game 5, and evidently he will need every bit of that break.
All right, Ken. And when we talked to Terry Francona after Game 1, Beckett was pulled after 80 pitches. He told us the next night that with his team up, long innings, a cold night in Boston, Beckett stiffened up during the middle innings, and after he got through the 6th and the lead was theirs, Francona and John Farrell thought enough's enough and him out of the game. That is a strike. Cabrera backed out, thought he had time, was not granted time. It's 2-1.
Something you do not see that often. Cabrera calling time, but it was too late.
Inside corner, 2-2. John Lester could step up and get some big outs for Boston while they try and tighten it down. Mike Timlin is getting loose now for the Red Sox in their pen. And in the 7th inning, it'll be Varitek, Lugo, and Dustin Pedroia for the big bats again. What is now a 7-3 game. Runner goes, and a foul out of play.
Yeah, right now the Red Sox have 9 outs to score at least 4 runs to tie.
A 7-run bottom of the 5th inning on 7 hits. Red Sox 3 consecutive home runs the next half inning. Another 2-2. 1 away and a strikeout for John Lester as Sizemore stayed put over at first.
Ball could have been out of the strike zone. Varitek setting up inside. It was. Looked like a high fastball. So Cabrera going after ball 4.
To tell you what members of this Red Sox organization thought about John Lester on his trip through the system. According to Terry Francona, who told us this earlier in the season, the organization was about split as to who had better stuff and who was going to be a better big leaguer between Jonathan Papelbon and John Lester. You know how terrific Papelbon has been in the big leagues, and they hope for the same as a starter from Lester. Fastball swung through it to Travis Hafner, strike 1. A leadoff walk, a strikeout of Cabrera, and Hafner waits for an 0-1. Breaking ball drops in, strike 2. This is an Indians team that has not seen a lot of left-handed pitching in the postseason. combination so far of the Angels and now the Red Sox. So Lester certainly gives these Indians hitters a different look. Back-to-back strikeouts of Cabrera and Hafner, and with 1 on, 2 out, Victor Martinez will be the hitter.
This is the 4th time tonight that Hafner has struck out. You can see Veritek getting the target high, and Lester threw it high to strike out Travis Hafner. It's the 4th time this evening.
1 on, 2 out. Boys and Girls Clubs of America is the official charity of Major League Baseball. Together, they create a positive place for kids. Here in the bottom of the 6th at Jacobs Field. Because of snow early in the season, the Indians had to actually play 4 games away from their home park and call them home games during the season. They had Sizemore frozen with his lead, but able to get back. Victor Martinez at the plate. The Indians played 3 games against the Angels at Milwaukee. And then 1 game as part of a doubleheader as the home team out in Seattle. But persevered in a tough division, the AL Central, and ended up beating the Tigers by 8 games.
Yeah, that old song, "Any place I hang my hat is home," was certainly applied to the Indians this year.
1 on, 2 out, and Sizemore diving back to the bag, and Euclid missed it. Throwing it back to Lester, it trickles away, but now a base hit could mean an extra run, and Euclid should be an error on the first baseman.
Well, we talked earlier about at first base that Kevin Euclid, that ball hit him in the ankle. It did not hit the glove. So instead of Sizemore getting picked off, Euclid was picked off. Hit him in the ankle. He did not put any leather on it. So it's the first error on Kevin Euclid as a first baseman since July 4th of last year. But he was picked off then. Good move by Lester. Too good.
And now for Victor Martinez, who has an RBI single, a run scored, a base hit, could make it an 8-3 game. Good speed out there at second with Grady Sizemore, who led off the inning with a walk. Rafael Betancourt, who has been phenomenal, gets loose. It's Peralta on deck, and the right-hander Timlin in the bullpen for Boston. This could be it if Lester doesn't get Victor Martinez. One ball, one strike. The 1-1 to Martinez, strike 2. And John Lester could strike out the side here in the 6th. Breaking ball is flied into right center field for Coco Crisp. Lester turns in a scoreless 6th inning. We go to the 7th. It'll be Veritek, Lugo, and Pedroia coming up. A 4-run game. Back after this from your local Fox station. Seven to 3 is the score as we move into the 7th inning, and Jason Veritek gets his first at bat of the night. The Red Sox captain batting in the spot once held by Doug Mirabelli, who made the start with Wakefield on the mound. It's Veritek, Lugo, and Pedroia. Cleveland up by 4, and there's a strike on the outside corner from Jensen Lewis. Paul Bird gave up back-to-back home runs to Euclid and Ortiz in the 6th. He was chased. Jensen Lewis came in, gave up a long home run to Manny Ramirez, then got the next 3. Pulled the string on Varitek, strike 2.
Running into Jensen Lewis in the dugout before the game this evening. Jensen saying, I heard you say that my changeup was my best pitch, and you were right, saying I couldn't use it last night.
Here's a good piece of hitting by Varitek going the opposite way. Just stuck the bat out and gets a base hit through the left side, and the leadoff man is on for Boston.
Good hitting by Varitek on the fastball, it appeared, and Jensen Lewis gives up a hit. He gave up the home run to Manny Ramirez, and now the leadoff hit to Varitek here in the 7th inning. But what an engaging young man he is. Went to Vanderbilt, lives in Nashville. Mom and Dad are here tonight from Cincinnati. Grandmom, Granddad from Medina, about an hour from here, at the game this evening.
1 on, nobody out. Julio Lugo takes a ball outside. Ken, you did some digging on Jensen Lewis.
Yeah, Joe, I spoke with his coach at Vanderbilt, Tim Corbin, and he said that Lewis is a pitching version of Dustin Pedroia. Hell-bent on success, totally confident in his ability. While he lacks overpowering stuff, Corbin said, you come across very few kids who are as driven as this kid is.
Here's a double play ball to short. Out at second, out at first. 6-4-3 off the bat of Lugo. 2 out.
Lewis gets the double play, an easy turn to get the speedy Lugo.
8 times the Indians have turned a double play against the Red Sox. So the Twin Killings have thwarted the big inning. And for the middle infielders, this time it was Peralta to Cabrera and on to first. They've turned him in all different ways, including last night, turning the first ever 4-5-3 double play in postseason history, with Cabrera feeding the third baseman Casey Blake coming across the bag on a ball hit by Ortiz. There's Pedroia. First pitch is strike, and now strike 2. Line drive, caught by Asdrubal Cabrera. What a play. At the top of his leap, into the webbing of his glove. Time to stretch, Asdrubal just did. Bottom of the 7th, 4-run game. The ALCS on Fox, sponsored by Liberty Mutual. Responsibility, what's your policy? By Dish Network, get in the game. And by Chevy, an American Revolution. Beautiful shot of downtown Cleveland, Ohio, and Jacobs Field. If you pan a little left, you'll see Jacobs Field. Keep going. A little more. There it is. Aerial coverage provided to you by Goodyear. Get home in comfort with Goodyear Silent Armor technology. In our Nissan game summary, the big inning, a 7-run 5th inning. A couple of home runs. This one a big one, a 2-out, 3-run shot the opposite way by Johnny Peralta. Then the Red Sox big bats went to work. Euclid, Ortiz, and Ramirez. It's 7-3, bottom of the 7th. And John Lester, who worked a scoreless 6th, got around a leadoff walk and an error. will go back to work and deal with Peralta, Lofton, and Casey Blake. Don't forget, immediately following tonight's game, log on to foxsports.com or MLB.com for a live extended post-game webcast. Player interviews, press conferences, highlights, analysis, much more. Chris Myers, Harold Reynolds, Jim Leyritz, and Ken Rosenthal will be on hand. Also, you can join them for a live early pregame webcast, including live batting practice starting an hour and a half before every game the rest of the way throughout the postseason. Johnny Peralta has had 2 3-run home runs. ALCS, inning number 4 off Schilling. Dead center field. That put Cleveland on top. And then tonight in the 5th, 2-out, 3-run shot. And what a difference that swing made. From 3-0 to 6-0 on that swing. Another RBI by Casey Blake, 7-0, then the 3 home runs at 7-3.
During the season, more home runs than any other American League shortstop. It's continuing in the postseason.
Looks at a breaking ball for strike 1. So John Lester trying to do his part. In the 8th inning, the Red Sox will have Euclid, Ortiz, and Manny Ramirez. 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Not only a 3-run home run, but a double tonight for Johnny Peralta. The 1-1. Good pitch from Lester, strike 2.
Joe, you brought it up the last inning. The marvelous play during this postseason of the middle infielders. And not just in the American League, but Troy Tulowitzki of the Colorado Rockies. Where's he come to the fore? What a player.
The 1-2. Well, anytime that the whispers start heading around baseball and they compare a rookie like Tulowitzki to Cal Ripken.
Yeah.
Those who are around him on a regular basis, those who know the kind of kid he is and the kind of player he is, leader he is, the way he plays the position. Out in front of that pitch was Peralta, just got a piece. But yeah, the middle infield play in this series in the NLCS, what a difference it's made from inning to inning. The double plays as the Red Sox have hit into 8 in 3+ games. Peralta's jammed, pops it up. Euclid back to make the play. 1 out. We look at some of the middle infield play in this series. There's the 4-5-3 double play last night. Peralta in the hole at Fenway. Lugo to his left a couple of times last night. And here's Tulowitzki.
And this double play. You won't see that too often.
And how about Asdrubal Cabrera in the top of this 7th?
Timing that jump perfectly for the 3rd out in the 7th inning.
Here's Kenny Lofton, 1 for 3 tonight. And his hit was no small hit, a 2-out single to keep the 5th inning alive. Then he stole second and scored on another RBI by Casey Blake. Oh, 2. We talked about Colorado. And if you look at where the Rockies were in the middle of September and consider where they are now, which is at the beginning of an 8-day layoff before the World Series begins, it's shocking to look at the numbers. Obviously to win 21 of 22, but this is on September 15th, 6.5 games out at the bottom, 4.5 games out of the wild card spot. Arizona won the division, but the Rockies won that 1-game playoff with San Diego, and they haven't stopped winning since. Lofton is jawing with the home plate umpire, Paul Emmel, who does his best to keep Lofton in the game.
Well, the Indians have a 4-run lead, and no sense in upsetting the home plate umpire. That ball looked like it had the front corner. A lot of times a catcher will catch that ball outside, and the ball goes across the front corner, and you got to wonder if Eric Wedge didn't say something to Lofton. Just cool it, Kenny. We're not behind by 4, we're up by 4.
Ball down and in to Casey Blake. Either way, looked like a good pitch.
Yeah, it did.
Casey Blake with a homer and a 2-out RBI single in the 7-run fifth. With the off day tomorrow and with the way the game played out last night, Terry Francona can extend Jonathan Papelbon tonight if he has to. And he is at least up and starting to get limber in the bullpen. Wakefield made the start, was terrific through 4 and could not get through the 5th. To his left, Lowell makes the play, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for John Lester. Big outs recorded by the young left-hander. 8th inning now in Cleveland. Game 4, 7-3 Indians. Package of the home runs hit in this game, and one of the swings was a 3-run shot by Johnny Peralta. Now it's Betancourt, and Betancourt in the postseason has been lights out, but the guy that has really picked up some big outs as a rookie is the one who just left, Jensen Lewis. To get the game to Betancourt or Rafael Perez, it's easy to overlook Jensen Lewis, but he just pitched 2 innings, allowed 1 run on 2 hits. It was Youkilis who started the 3-run rally 2 innings ago, and he was trying to do it again with that swing. Strike 1. He went deep, then Ortiz, then Manny Ramirez. There's Jensen Lewis. Big bats for Boston, trying to climb back, down by 4 here in the 8th. In the air into right field, pretty well hit. Back is Gutierrez, 1 away. Now David Ortiz walks in. Home run to right his last time up, 1 for 3 on the night, and the home run his first RBI of this series and his 4th of this postseason, 3rd home run. What a swing by Ortiz. Last time up, Ortiz, a line drive home run into right. They've got some Indians fans, $20. And did you know that he is the author of Big Papi, My Story of Big Dreams and Big Hits, which was a hit in Boston. The beloved David Ortiz. Strike 2.
That's a changeup from Betancourt, and we have not seen him feature that pitch because of the situations he's been in, having to go with mostly hard stuff, but fooling Ortiz on the change.
Betancourt, a big reason why the Indians won Game 2 in 11 innings. Easy to left field for Kenny Lofton. 2 out.
Let's call this
The comebacks, the movie brings you the greatest comebacks in ALCS history, and that begins, the conversation does, with the Red Sox in 2004. ALCS down 3 games to none to the Yankees, came roaring back. Won the pennant and then won the World Series. Johnny Damon, a big part of the Game 7 win at Yankee Stadium. Embry got the final out, and then on to the 4-game sweep over the Cardinals, and the first World Series victory for Boston in 86 years. The Comebacks, a comedy film opening nationwide in theaters this Friday. If the Red Sox do not rally the rest of the way tonight, they will be down 3 games to 1 and turning 2 nights from tonight to Josh Beckett against CC Sabathia in Game 5. Ramirez with 2 out, nobody on. Gets under it, into left. Kenny Lofton, Betancourt racks up. Another scoreless inning. Bottom of the 8th in Cleveland, Jacobs Field. Indians up 7-3. The ALCS on Fox, sponsored by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world. By Sharp Aquos, the official HD of Major League Baseball. And by Miller High Life, good, honest beer at a tasty price. Indians bat bottom of the 8th inning, and it's the bottom part of the order. Franklin Gutierrez against John Lester, who's been good. Fastball for a strike, and he seems like he's settling in and getting better as he goes, which you would figure for a guy who's used to starting. Lester relieved in the 6th, walked the leadoff man, and he has been perfect since. One ball, one strike on Gutierrez, who has been perfect at the plate with 2 walks, a hit, a run scored.
Yeah, we've seen so many times things change so quickly in the postseason. Best 4 out of 7. And a guy like Gutierrez, who was 1 for 10 coming into this game, on base 3 times tonight.
Chased it there, strike 2. His manager, Eric Wedge, leading into last night's game, said, we've asked a lot of Gutierrez. He got the home run in the 11th inning, the 3-run shot off the man he's facing right now, John Lester at Fenway, which was the knockout blow. But he said, we're going to give him a night off, let him watch and relax a little more, and maybe that's paid off tonight. On base 3 times. 1-2 pitch. A little more patient at the plate. It's 2-2. Gutierrez strikes out, and that's 4 strikeouts and 2 1/3 innings for John Lester. This detail of the game brought to you by Sharp Aquos, official HD of Major League Baseball. Bring the details home.
Runners on at first and third. Only 1 run across at that time for the Indians. And Joe and I were talking about it. Had that ball gotten through, perhaps Pedroia gets the double play. The Indians end up with only 1 run and could be trailing. But as it happened, Wakefield got a glove on it. That was the 2nd run that scored. 5 more runs scored after 2 were out. And the Indians, instead of scoring 1 run, scored 7.
One of the reasons why this game is so unpredictable and in some ways so great. Not great for Wakefield in that case. The ball was hit so hard. The only question was, if Pedroia makes the play, it's an easy double play. He was hit sharply off the bat of Asdrubal Cabrera, who again tonight has an RBI hit and a run scored, and last night had 2 hits and an RBI. One ball, one strike on Shopik. Getting the start tonight with Paul Byrd on the mound, and counts 1-2. Paul Byrd in line for the victory. Unless the Red Sox rally, they would go to 2-0 this postseason. 3-1 overall in the postseason.
That other game he won for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in Chicago, game 1 of the American League Championship Series back in 2005. And then, of course, the White Sox beat the Angels 4 in a row and then went on to beat the Houston Astros in 4.
Here's a 2-2. Slow roller up the third base line, and that is an infield hit.
There are some places on a baseball field where you can't play a particular hitter. You hit it there, every time you're up, you're always going to have a hit.
Shopik puts it in the right place, and now with 1-on-1 out, here's Grady Sizemore. He's walked twice, stolen a base, reached on a force out, and scored a run. In the 9th inning, Boston will have Lowell, Drew, and Crisp if anybody gets on Veritek. As Sizemore takes ball 1. We look at this day in Red Sox history. Whether it's Game 3 of the 04 ALCS, a 19-8 win by the Yankees, or the extra inning, 11th inning home run by Aaron Boone to beat Boston in Game 7 in 2003. Here they are trailing 7-3, ALCS Game 4. October 16th, not a good date in recent Red Sox history. And now as Drupal Cabrera, who is up to .313 with his average, and this is a rookie who was called up August 7th, and he doesn't play like a rookie. Jensen Lewis doesn't pitch like a rookie. Outside corner, strike 1. Cabrera, from the 7th inning on during the regular season and the postseason, is hitting .333. And a valuable guy to have up in the number 2 spot. Eric Wood said we didn't know what to expect. He came up 4 or 5 games. He was the best hitter we had in our lineup for that stretch, so I put him in the number 2 spot, and I haven't moved him since. Kenny Lofton was there for a while. It now belongs to Asdrubal. Off the hand, still 0-2. Another 0-2, and Cabrera out of the way of it. No action right now for the Indians in their bullpen. Betancourt with a perfect 8th, and he may trot back out there for the 9th. 42 pitches for Rafael in Game 2. He's gone 4 1/3 in this series and allowed a total of 1 hit, and he struck out 4. The 1-2. Left side for Lowell. Lester has done a very good job here tonight. We go into the 9th inning of Game 4 here in Cleveland. The Indians take the field, trying to take a 3-1 series advantage. Lowell, Drew, Crisp coming up for the Red Sox, who trail by 4. Aerial coverage provided to you by Goodyear. Get home in comfort with Goodyear Silent Armor technology. And as we play here in the 9th inning, last chance for the Red Sox, down 2-1, trailing this game by 4. First pitch swinging, Lowell pops it up. Foul ball. One away as Shopik hauls it in. Mark Shapiro, the GM of the Indians. His club 2 outs away from taking a commanding 3-1 series lead as J.D. Drew steps in. Another night without an RBI for J.D. Drew. A reminder that coming up after the game, it's your late local news, except on the West Coast. Drew does have a hit, 1 for 3. Betancourt, 92 miles an hour, strike 1. Off the end of the bat, 0-2. You wonder if when Game 5 rolls around and Beckett is on the mound against Sabathia, if it will be the typical lineup from Terry Francona. Or if a guy like Jacoby Ellsbury could get in there. Trying to change it up.
Yeah.
Bobby Kelty will be in there, Francona said, against Sabathia. 0-2 pitch. Ball 1. But Coco Crisp in his spot in center field. He's 0 for 3 tonight, 3 out of 15 in this LCS. No RBIs and only 5 out of 25 in the postseason.
And the thing is, you give up almost nothing on defense. Ellsbury, an outstanding outfielder.
Here's a 1-2 to Drew. 2-2. CC Sabathia gets the ball for the Indians. And he could be the man in the center of all the action trying to clinch it. And send Cleveland to the World Series for a date with the Colorado Rockies. 2-2 pitch. Full count. Boston needs 3 base runners to have a chance, and J.D. Drew wants to be the first. Back here out of play. Paul Bird tonight, 5+ innings, 2 runs, 6 hits, no walks. That's no surprise, and 4 strikeouts. The 2 home runs chased him in the 6th, back-to-back Euclid and Ortiz. And the good Indians bullpen took over. 1 run against it tonight. Drew, a fly ball into left center field. It's Kenny Lofton. It's 2 out.
Five fly ball outs by Rafael Betancourt. It's almost as though hitters look like they're swinging uphill at Betancourt. You get under everything.
A part of this Cleveland bullpen, which from the 7th inning on in this postseason has an ERA of 1.57. That's coming in with 4 runs in 7 games. Two out for Coco Crisp. Line drive caught, and the Indians lead this series 3-1. The Cleveland Indians are one win away from heading back to the World Series, where they would try and capture their first title since 1948. 3-hour, 12-minute game tonight. Bird the winner, Wakefield the loser, and a final of 7-3. In Major League Baseball postseason history, 65 teams have trailed 3 games to 1. 10 teams have come back to win the series. The last one, the Boston Red Sox in 04, down 3 games to nothing that year. Initially, they came back to beat the Yankees. The Chevrolet player of the game is Casey Blake. 2 hits in the 7-run 5th. A leadoff home run. Later, a flare to center for an RBI. And in recognition of his outstanding play, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to Major League Baseball charities Chevy and American Revolution. Let's go down to the field and Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, we're here with Casey Blake. Casey, you struck out in your first at-bat against Tim Wakefield. What changed in your thought process going into your second at-bat when you hit the home run?
With Wakefield, it's just a matter of, getting a knuckleball to hit. That thing's moving quite a bit. Sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't. I was just lucky to get one on the barrel there, and he had some nasty stuff tonight.
Game 5 Thursday night, CC Sabathia on the mound, chance to close out the series. How difficult will it be to contain your excitement?
Well, we got to stay focused. They got Beckett going, and CC's our number 1, and he's our go-to guy, and he's pitched in so many big games. He's come up so big for us all year long, and I expect him to do the same. But we got to stay focused, like I said, and just show up ready to win. We got a lot more work to do.
Casey, thank you very much. Now let's go to Chris Myers.
All right, thanks very much. Cleveland's rocking with Paul Bird. You held serve tonight. First it was the Yankees. Tonight the Red Sox. Now you're 1 win away from the World Series.
It's an amazing feeling. I've never been this close in my career. I'm getting older, so it's nice to see. But the fans here were unbelievable tonight. It's the loudest I've ever seen it. My mom and dad made it up from Louisville. My wife came out tonight. It was nice.
We saw you signaling her at the end of
I was saluting. That's who I was saluting, so I really appreciated that. It was a magical night for me and the Cleveland Indians.
You joked about maybe the 2 slowest right-handers in ALCS history with you and Tim Wakefield. So what worked for you for the first 5?
Well, you know what? I hit 90 tonight out of nowhere. I don't know what happened. So I was high-fiving in the dugout. But I had a good fastball. Tim Wakefield's an amazing pitcher. He's been around forever. He could pitch till he's 50 with the way he throws that knuckleball. So, I knew I was in for a dogfight. We just got a few hits to fall, strung together some home runs, and, it was a great feeling.
All right, so what do you do with the off day to try to contain or control the excitement? You still have one more to win, whether it's here, and I'm sure this is where you want it, or going back to Boston.
Yeah, we want to put them away here. But, that's a great team over there. They could easily come back and win 3, so we're taking absolutely nothing for granted. We're getting ready to go tomorrow. Just try and enjoy the win right now, but we want to put it away at home. It'd be great to do in front of these fans as well.
Yeah, the World Series starts a week from tomorrow night. Thanks a lot, Paul.
Hey,
congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, our pleasure, Joe.
All right, thank you, Chris, and thank you to Ken. A salute from Paul Bird, who gets into the 6th inning tonight. He's the winner, 2-0 this postseason. And we stick with the theme of pitching. Game 5 probables on Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern on Fox. Josh Beckett, who's been so good for Boston, against CC Sabathia, a rematch of Game 1 that the Red Sox won. We will take a break and come back to Jacobs Field. Indians win it. They're up 3 games to 1. Final tonight, 7-3.